Hello everyone, and thank you for watching Fayetteville Public Utilities Channel 6. I'm Sarah Mack-Young, and in our studio today we have Mr. Danny Pigg with us. It's good to see you, Mr. Danny.
Hi, good to be here.
We always enjoy it when Mr. Danny comes to see us. He's a breath of fresh air, and he's always got some great news to share with us, and especially our viewers at home. Mr. Danny, before we get started, we're going to be talking about Provision Port today and some exciting news there, but tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a local cabinet maker. Been here doing cabinets in the county for 44 plus years, and we've just been having a lot of fun with a whole lot of people. We do a lot of public service stuff, like you had mentioned about the Provision Port. There are other things that we do too, but just having fun with the folks here in Lincoln County for a long time.
Absolutely. So let's talk about Provision Port and tell folks about how long you guys have been helping families in our community.
Yeah. Provision Port started in May of 2008, and it was founded by a lady by the name of Rose Mitchell. Rose, at the time, or prior to starting Provision Port, I was working with her with a food distribution organization called Angel Food Ministries. And Angel Food was a discount food program where you pay $20, $25 and you get $60 to $70 worth of groceries. So it really benefited a lot of people in the county. But along with doing that program, Rose found that there were a lot of people that didn't have $20 or $25. So she started Provision Port. And of course we just cranked it up, and what we did, actually, we operated both organizations simultaneously. What we would do was, for those folks who could afford the $20 or $25 a month or of groceries, then they would pay the $20, $25. For the families who just didn't have that, we would run them through Provision Port, which is absolutely free of charge. So it worked out really well for quite a period of time, but after that period of time, Angel Food Ministries was putting out more than they were bringing in, so they had to shut it down. And when they shut it down, we just kept Provision Port going, and by golly, it's been going wide open ever since.
Well, that's awesome. Let's talk about, I know that Provision Port provides food and is really helpful, fills a big need here in our community. But Provision Port is more than just food. There's so much that you do for our community. Could you talk about some of the other parts of Provision Port?
Well, Provision Port itself is a 501c3 organization, and it is designated for food. But we do a lot of other things in conjunction with, and because Provision Port has been so widely known and used, then folks tend to give us a call on other needs. So as well as Provision Port, we furnish medical equipment to people who need it but can't afford it. Now that's actually separate from Provision Port, but it's through myself. So we have everything from hospital beds to wheelchairs to bedside commodes to just about anything you can name. And it goes out and beyond our community as well. We have been instrumental in assisting folks as far away as 20 miles east of Kentucky. I'm sorry, east of Knoxville. I've actually delivered a power scooter to a little 12-year-old boy 20 miles the other side of Knoxville. So we've done that, and north of Nashville, up in close to Kentucky, and down in Alabama, and all kinds of places. Fort Smith, Arkansas, we've been out that direction. And we've even been able to assist folks as far away as Uganda.
All right.
So it's that, and we got the medical equipment, Provision Port, working with our local hospice. I've been with hospice for over 12 years now, and we've helped those folks and helped people that come into our program with needs of their own, and we've been doing that for a long, long time. And I just want to give a pat on the back for our hospice group. I tell you what, we've got some of the best hospice people that anybody could ever want. I tell you, these ladies, I mean, everybody from the aides to the nurses, to the doctor, Dr. Jones, and all the administrative staff, everybody connected with the hospice here in Lincoln County are top notch. And I just want to send out a good shout out to them and give them my attaboy, because they surely deserve it. But we've got that, and one more little item, I guess, outside of just being a referral service. I have started being an advocate for a lady in North Alabama. A lot of people know her from the TV stations in Huntsville. She was a news reporter at one time, a news anchor. Her name is Lee Marshall. She has an organization called Kids to Love. Kids to Love is an organization that sees after the needs of foster children all over the Tennessee Valley. So there are so many things that she does for these foster kids, help them to find a forever home, all sorts of needs that they might have. But my purpose is advocating and gathering Bibles for these kids. So she is currently distributing over 6,000 Bibles per year to foster kids all over the Tennessee Valley. So I've jumped on board with that, and started beating the bushes and generating Bibles for Lee's Kids to Love. And my ultimate goal, guys, on this one, I'll just elaborate just a little bit, and then we'll
Sure.
get back to the point at hand. My ultimate goal, guys, is I want to set up 35 churches that would pledge 200 Bibles per year. Now, that don't have to be all at once. It don't have to be any particular time of year, but 200 Bible, if we could get that. Now, it's not to say that we won't take 1 Bible, 2 Bibles, 3 Bibles, whatever you can afford, but my ultimate goal was to generate 35 churches at 200 Bibles per year. That totals 7,000 Bibles. So she's distributing 6,000 plus now. We can bump it up, and then if we can get the donations of the Bibles, it won't take money out of her foundation money, and she can concentrate on the other needs that these children might need. So any of you churches out there, or groups, or individuals that would like to join us in that, just get in touch with me. I'll give you my contact information in just a little while. But we are looking for preferably the NIV version. Personally, I like King James, but that's me. That's my personal choice. But the NIV is a little bit more easy for the kids to understand. So NIV versions, but anybody wants to join us, get on this bandwagon for these foster kids, I can't imagine a better way to help these kids than to give them a Bible. So like I said, we'll give you contact information in just a little while. But
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about Provision Port, and let's talk about the food drive, because
Yes.
you've got a food drive coming up.
Absolutely.
Why don't you tell everybody at home a little bit about your food drive?
Well, not long ago, we did another food drive with a company, the Case dealership out in Park City, and those folks were fantastic. We really, really appreciate you guys. You went over and beyond with it, and we thank you for it. But just before we did that food drive, this company here, where we're going, our location, asked us if they could be a permanent drop-off point for Provision Port. So we have all the times people saying, hey, I'd like to donate some food items, but I just don't know where to bring it. And because we work as a volunteer agency, all of us in Provision Port volunteer our time. We all have jobs, so we can't staff an office or a place for people to drop in when they can. So Huntsville Highway Cleaners and Laundry out on the corner of Malina Road and Huntsville Highway called me and said, hey, can we be the go-to place for you guys and gather the food items, outside of these food drives. So I said, hey, wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So they jumped on the bandwagon and they said, well, let's just kick it off with a food drive. So even though we had one not too long ago, food comes and goes really, really quickly. So we can't have enough or too much, because another thing to mention is we're not only working Provision Port's distributions, we're actually supporting other food organizations here in town. There are like Gum Springs Church out on the 64 highway. We're instrumental on helping them keep enough food in their pantry for distributions, and a few other places. Hands of Mercy, we've helped them a couple of times, Slingshot, and there's lots of places for food distribution here in the county, but we've been really blessed. Thank you guys for the support that you have given us so that we can not only serve the people that we directly serve, but we can help the other organizations here keep enough food in their pantries so that they can support it too. But anyway, food drive, it's coming up really quick. It's November the 5th. It's Tuesday, November the 5th, out here at Huntsville Highway Cleaners and Laundry. And just like the other food drives we had before, all you got to do, you don't even have to get out of your car. We'll have volunteers out there, so all they need to do, if they want to, is pull through the drive-through. And we'll have people outside, we'll have people inside. We can take the food items from you if you want to pass it through the window or just pop the trunk or whatever you might do. We'll have folks to take it. So it's going to be really, really easy to contribute. We'll be there from 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We would love to see you out there during that time. But if for whatever reason you can't make it during that time, don't fret and don't not gather food items to donate, because this is going to be our go-to place. So if you miss it on Tuesday, go out there Wednesday, go out there Thursday or next week or whatever, just whenever it's convenient for you. Drop off some food items for Provision Board, and we'll make sure it gets where it needs to go.
When we say food items, let's talk a little bit about what particular items you might be looking for and something that you might need, or you might be full on something and you want something else.
Non-perishables is what we have to do, because we don't have the storage like a refrigerator, that sort of thing. Now, during the hunting season, we work with a group called Hunters for the Hungry, and they generate deer, the venison for us, and they'll freeze it, and and those guys are great too. Thank you so much. But we do that. But outside of that, non-perishables is preferred. That would be like rice, macaroni, beans, corn, anything of that nature. If it's edible, by golly, we'll take it.
You know, your canned vegetables, your canned fruits.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely, you know, cereal, peanut butter. I'm sure that's something that's a luxury item, and you'd love to have peanut butter.
Absolutely, absolutely. We do get some peanut butter once in a while, not as much as we'd like, of course, but, and another thing to keep in mind, folks, keep in mind we have a homeless population here in Lincoln County that most people are not aware of, and those folks don't have the ability to cook items. So if we could get some open and eat type items, that would be great too for those folks who just don't have the capability of cooking or warming. So we try to serve as many and all as we can.
So crackers?
Oh, absolutely. Crackers, canned meats, like Spams or anything of that nature. Vienna
sausages, things like that.
Vienna sausages, there's potted meats, there's all kinds of things that you can pop open and eat that don't have to be cooked. But like you said, the canned fruits, that's a wonderful item, so they can pop that open and eat it pretty easily. So we'll take just about anything. Pinto beans, we had some groups that got the small bags of pinto beans, so we could have a lot for distribution. That worked out really well. But whatever you'd like to donate, we would like to have.
Sure. If you feel like donating cake mix, they're going to be excited to get cake mix. That's a luxury item too, I'm sure.
Yep.
So there's a lot of different things that you can do, but canned foods are always welcomed. But if you want to do something a little different, that's okay too.
There you go. Cereal.
Cereal
is a big thing now too. Just all kinds of different things that just let your imagination run wild with you, because what we take for granted, other people really take serious. So, we have so many times gone to the kitchen and looked through the pantry and say, hey, we don't have anything to eat. But really, we just don't see what we want at the time. But there's a lot of people that honestly and literally don't have anything to eat. So, when we go over and I get on my pity train every once in a while, oh, things are just so tough, and I don't have this or I don't have that. But then I get to thinking about some of these folks that we work with and we assist, and it gets me off that pity train pretty quick.
Absolutely. Let's tell everybody, Mr. Danny, how they can get in touch with you and Provisionport if they have questions or they want to donate or anything of that nature. We want them to be able to contact you. Can you tell them how to find you?
All right. If you want to talk to me personally, then you're welcome to call my cell phone, which is almost always on. It's 993-7937. That is a 931 area code, so 931-993-7937. You can call, text, email, Facebook, Messenger, or whatever. If you'd like to email, that would be dannypigg@yahoo.com. Just really simple. So you can do it that way, or you can contact our director, Jim Loria. Jim is a wonderful guy, and I tell you what, that's another attaboy I got to give. So Jim, if you're watching here, I really appreciate you, but I couldn't do what I do without you. He's my, I won't say he's my right-hand man. We work in conjunction. He sees that the food goes out, I see that the food comes in, and we work in conjunction. But Jim, you're all right. I appreciate you, buddy. But Jim Loria, that will be provisionport.com. So Jim Loria at gmail.com. So provisionport@gmail.com, or 227-8672 would be for him on that. So either one of us would be fine. But just, if you need something, don't wait till you're completely out before you let somebody know that you are in need, because we are a volunteer service. We do have regular jobs, and we have to work it around our work too. So, we've had example, I was called a while back, and I think I've told this story maybe the last time, but it's pretty common of examples like this. But I was called to assist a fella, and by the time I had got to him, I found out that 4 days prior to me getting there with grocery items, he'd been eating granulated sugar. He had a bag of sugar, and he'd dip a spoon in it and take a bite just every now and again. So we don't want to see anybody in that position. So, if you see that there's going to be a problem, let somebody know, and we'd be glad to address it for you.
Absolutely. So let's remind people of the food drive that's going to be on November the 5th. That's Tuesday, November the 5th, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Huntsville Highway Cleaners.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And come on down, go into your favorite grocery store, whatever it might be, load up on a few things, and come on down and see us. We'd be glad to see you.
Mr. Danny's going to be there, and some other volunteers. You won't even have to get out of the car if you don't want to.
That's exactly right. Can't be any easier than that.
Not any easier than that. And that's also, but even if you can't come on Tuesday, November the 5th, that's going to become a permanent location. So folks can drop off food and non-perishable items there during the week. That's
exactly right. So we would love to see you on Tuesday, but if you can't make it on Tuesday, don't fret. They will be there 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, to help you out.
All right. Well, we've had Mr. Danny Pigg here talking with us about Provisionport and the upcoming food drive, and the new location, permanent location as a drop-off point for you to take your non-perishable food items to at Huntsville Highway Cleaners. But he hopes to see you on Tuesday, November the 6th for the food drive, and you can drop off your items. It's good to see you, Mr. Danny.
Good to see you, girl.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, our viewers, for watching FPU's Channel 6, and we hope to see you back in here next time.